So the rankings are in. Has Norway moved up or down? Has Egersund moved up or down? Who won the Champions League? Who won the Europa League? In this video, that's the type of stuff we dive into. More of the universe of the world and not so much focused on us. But we will recap how the season has gone so far.
This is just an intro. You better believe it. Jesus, that was bad. Yep, welcome to the series.
Now, before we get into anything, we have four players in the top 50 Wonderkids in world football. Pinker is 37th, Samare 44th, Vedvik 46th, and in 48th, Mansilla. It's not bad, 4 players. Not bad for a small club from Norway. So first off, we will look that we are 12 games into the league at the minute, and you can see how things have been going. You can also see that we're out of the cup. So our first month started with 2 wins and a draw, beating, I always get it mixed up, Grorud. I always want to call them Giroud or something. But Grorud we beat 2-0, before we drew 0-0 with Brann, and then we beat Rosenborg 2-1. Why can't I click on this one? That one, okay. Doesn't matter. So we beat Rosenborg 2-1. We then went into April, starting with a 3-0 victory over Chelsea, Samara with 2 there. We then played Sandefjord and got 4-1 victory, before 2 draws in a row, Sogndal 2-2 at home and 1-1 away to Tromsø. We then moved into May, starting with a 2-1 defeat to Stabæk before beating Odds and Ollesund back-to-back, before Bosserkop from the north of Norway in the cup. We got 3-0 victory. Strømsgodset set away with a 0-0 draw, before going through again Kongsvinger 2-1 after extra time in the cup, before we just had back-to-back defeats, losing to Bodø/Glimt 1-0 in the league, and odds on penalties in the cup sees us not getting to a cup final and not winning a cup in this season either, which is a bit upsetting. So currently I'm sitting 3rd in the league after 12 games. We've won 6, drew 4, lost 2, 22 points, 3 points off top. And what I would say is we look very, very poor playing at Brina Stadium. In the last video we spoke about how we are having stadium expansion, and it's affecting us massively. We don't look comfortable. It looks like every single game is an away game, and we're not handling it too well. And we're still only 3 points off top, which does give me hope that if we can piece together a run of form, we could look very, very good. Another thing to mention is we have expanded our training facilities again. We now are state-of-the-art, 5 out of 5 stars, 20 rating. We have the best training facilities possible, which is absolutely fantastic. We've also upgraded youth recruitment. That now is 5 stars, 20 exceptional youth recruitment, and junior coaching is 17, which is 3.5 stars, and these are the type of things we are going to look to improve again and again. Really, really pleased that they are so good, and yeah, 10 years in, taking over this club standing 3rd level of Norwegian football. We now have some of the best facilities in Norway, except for the stadium where we're playing at a different ground, because our stadium is getting developed to the point where we still can't use it in the Champions League. So, I'm not bitter. I promise I'm not bitter. I'm just don't understand what we're doing. So, in terms of rankings, let's go through it. So, the European competition rankings, we've moved up to 12th. We've moved to 1 place, so if we have a look at it. So we are just behind the Belgian League, the Austrian League, and the Danish League. We are 3.5 star. Just need to keep pushing on. Getting that top 10 in the next couple of years, I'll be happy. In terms of us, Egersunds, we are now 55th in the European club rankings. Who is around us? If we scroll down and find us, we are here. Trabzonspor and Wolfsburg just ahead. Villarreal, Young Boys and Malmö are just below us. So we are ranked fairly well. And if we look, we've got a 2.5 seasons going this year. So if we can have a good season, we might jump up a lot. Because that's going to go. We do have a 0.0 season here, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth. But we'll see if we can keep pushing on, and we could look fairly decent, you know. Really pleased with that. In terms of the coefficient rankings for the nation, we are 10th. So if we have a look, we've got 7.7 is going to disappear at the end of this season. 14.4, 12.5, 11.9, 13. Yes, our worst one is actually going to disappear. So if we can have a decent season in Europe as a nation this year, we could push up even more. We could go 9th, maybe 8th. And what would that get us? If I click my way through what screen I'm looking for here. This one I'm looking for. So we are currently here. 10th with 1 league qualification, 1 league path, 1, 1 and 1. Okay. If we move up to, say, 8th, we will get a league path and a league playoff spot. So that's one step further. We will be the same for the Europa League here, and we'll be the same for the Conference League. It's the top 7 where you get a team straight in the group phase. Okay, and you get a team playoff there. Yeah, so really, we need to be top 7. Top 7's a big difference. If we can get top 7, we're looking good in my opinion. We'd be looking very nice. We would be. So, how has the Champions League, etc. gone this year? If we're going to Europe, go down, club competitions. So Champions League first. The winners of the Champions League were Manchester City, winning it for the 2nd year in a row. And they beat Bayern Munich. In terms of the semi-finals, then Man City knocked down Manchester United, and Bayern Munich beat Real Madrid on penalties to go into the final, where they lost 3-0 to Manchester City. Europa League, Rennes won the Europa League. Man United the year before, they beat Fiorentina. Semi-finals was Atlanta against Rennes and Bayer Leverkusen against Fiorentina, so no English clubs there. Conference League was won by Aston Villa, beating Mallorca, so fair play to them. And it was AZ against Mallorca and Midtjylland of Denmark against Aston Villa. So Aston Villa there beating out some decent teams. In terms of Super Cup, Man City won it this season, beating Manchester United. Now, one of the things I did want to check on is how the other Norwegian sides have done in Europe. So if we go on to the other teams, I think what we'll do is we'll go stages and go last season so we know who actually qualified. So we've got odds. They have been playing in Europe. So they had nothing here. So they're going to be in from the season. Oh, it's so far back you've got to go. Okay, so we need to see who... This is such a disaster. We need to see who was in this season. So it's Werder Glimt, Molde, Vålerenga and Stabæk. Okay, let's check these, shall we? So in terms of schedule, so Werder Glimt were in the Champions League group phase. Okay, they were in the group stage of the Champions League. So if we go to stages for the season just gone and go to the league phase, and Werder Glimt came in 30th place. Oh, that wasn't the best, was it? Wasn't the best. 1-2, drew 1, lost 5. I mean, they picked up 7 points. They were 2 points from qualifying for the playoffs. So they did okay. Okay, let's check out Molde. They were in the Europa Conference League, and they made it round of 16. They went through, beating Antwerp 3-0 and 2-0, before going out to Midtjylland, who, if you remember, got to the semi-final. But they held their own, a 1-1 and a 2-1. So they did okay there. It was Vålerenga, wasn't it? So let's check out Vålerenga, shall we? They also did quite well. Went through in the group phase before playing Lyon in the playoffs. Lost 1-0 at home before 3-1 victory away from home. Fair play Vålerenga. Then came up against Frankfurt. Lost 3-1 at home and 3-0 away. So that's where they hit their level, didn't they? They hit the ceiling. Who was the other team? Werder Glimt we checked. We've checked Molde. Odds will be in this season coming. It wasn't Brann. Who was the other team? Werder Glimt, Molde, Vålerenga and Stabæk. Okay, so under the schedule here, there's nothing there. So they must have gone on qualifying, did they? Oh, they did. That doesn't help our coefficient points when one of the teams doesn't even get to the group stage. So they beat Zelina of Slovenia before they played Partizan, beat them 3-2 and 2-1. before they came against Istanbul Basaksehir, however you say it. 3-2 defeat at home and a 3-2 away. Saw them goals. That's why we couldn't find them. They didn't even get to the group stage or anything. But all of the other teams did make it to the knockout rounds, and that is what massively impacts the points. So we have to say fair play to them there. That definitely is a big help. But yeah, we keep pushing on. So we've updated how we're looking in the rankings. We've updated how we're looking in the league so far this season. We see we are close. We just need a good season this year. At the minute, if we put it this way, at the minute we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we go up to 9th at the minute. So we jump up to 9th, but we only 5 points behind Portugal and Denmark. So if we can have a better year than teams from them two countries, we could do well. We could do well and jump up to 7th. But I think moving up to the likes of 9th, maybe close the gap on them two, just that little bit. And then the year after, see if we can get 8th or 7th. But we're moving in the right direction, and that is the main thing. And the fact that other teams in our nation are getting to the knockout rounds is also huge. So I've been Paul, also known as the Northman. In the next video, we will come back at the end of August and look at the transfers we have made as we look to push on as we enter Champions League qualifying, and we try to hold on to players like Apaya, who, as we looked at in the last episode, is wanting to leave. I'll see you next time.